What's up everyone, it's Kelly and today I've got another swatch review for you. So today we are talking about the Morgan Taylor Clueless collection for summer 2022. So we've got 12 new polishes, they're all super bright summery shades and they're inspired by the 1995 movie Clueless. If you haven't heard of Morgan Taylor before, they are a mainstream salon nail polish brand and they are 3-free, meaning they are free of 3 of the potentially harmful ingredients that are often found in nail polish. They are also vegan, meaning they do not use any animal-derived ingredients, and they are cruelty-free, meaning they do not test their products on animals. So like I said, we've got some really fun summery colors, we have some really adorable names, so let me just show them to you and then we'll talk a little bit more about pricing and availability. So roll the swatch footage. So as with all of my swatch and review videos, I am using base coat underneath all of my swatches just to protect my natural nail and prevent any stains. Today I am using the Cuccio base coat. So first up in the collection we have I Totally Paused, and this is a really beautiful reddish pink cream shade. You can see it's kind of in the medium tone and it is so opaque. It fully covered up my visible nail line in that first coat. The second coat gave me perfect coverage. It's a really nice bright shade. I feel like this is kind of a classic nail polish shade to wear any time of year, but it feels especially perfect for summer because it's definitely giving me strong watermelon vibes. And of course it is super self-leveling and easy to apply, so I was really impressed with this one. Next up we have Driving in Platforms, and this one is a salmon cream shade, so it's this nice corally pinky orange color, and again super opaque. Was really impressed with this. I always say Morgan Taylor reminds me a little bit of OPI. I feel like they really nail those classic nail colors like the reds, the pinks, the orangey colors. It's just something they do very well and it's a very similar formula. But yeah, this one was almost opaque in the first coat. I ended up getting full coverage in 2, and again, just super easy self-leveling formula here. So we actually have 2 yellow polishes in this collection. This first one is called Let's Do a Makeover, and this is the more orangey yellow cream finish, and I was actually really impressed. The first coat gave me pretty nice coverage. I always say with yellow polishes, I find them to be the least opaque on my nails, even less opaque usually than white nail polish. So I figured this was going to be a 3-coater, but I actually ended up getting full coverage in 2. Now that's probably because I have pretty short nails, so if you have longer nails you might need a 3rd. I feel like it was just barely there, but it really did give me nice coverage, so I just kept it in 2. And then we have Ugh As If. This one is a more pure primary yellow color, and this one actually has a little shimmer running throughout. It looks like it's almost like these glass flecks that have a little bit of a golden tone to them, and this one is another pretty opaque polish. I just barely got that full coverage in 2 coats, but one thing I will say about this is that glitter really doesn't show up on the nails. It's incredibly subtle and I was having a hard time getting it to pick up on camera. It really looked like a cream finish. The only thing it did, it kind of looked like there were little shadows where maybe it was patchy around my cuticle, but that's kind of just like the shadow of those glass flecks, so it was fully opaque, wasn't very glittery. Next up we have the shade So Check It, and this is a really stunning sage green cream. Definitely a huge focus on the cream finishes in this collection, but I don't mind. I am a huge fan of a cream finish polish, especially when it's a really good formula, and all of these ended up being really good formulas. I think this is a very underrated brand. You can see the application was so smooth and easy. We have these wide flat brushes with the rounded tip that just make it even easier, and there's really no cleanup required, and on all of them they were just so self-leveling and smooth and opaque. This color definitely feels a little bit more springy than summery to me, but it's such a beautiful soft shade. If you're just getting into green polishes, a nice sage green color like this I think is just the perfect way to get into it. Moving on, we have the shade Total Betty, and this one is a really beautiful sky blue cream. Again, really nice formula. It was actually a little bit more sheer than some of the others in that first coat, but I still ended up getting full coverage in the second, and again it was just so self-leveling and smooth. I feel like even if you're a little bit sloppy with application, you're really not gonna have a hard time with these because they even out on the nail so nicely as they dry. Next up, we have the shade Powers of Persuasion. I was so excited when I saw this one. It's a beautiful, deep, cool toned purple cream. It almost has a little bit of that neon finish because it's so vibrant and eye-searing. And I've been talking a lot about cool toned purple creams lately. I absolutely love them, can't get enough of them, and I think I want to do a comparison video very soon, so I'll be including this one, but it is just another really impressive one. Super nice formula. One thing I did notice about this one is it dried down to a semi-matte finish. You can always fix that with some top coat, but that's something that I see a lot with polishes that have neon pigments in them. And speaking of neons, we have this super bright saturated neon pink called She's a Classic, and oh my goodness, if this isn't the most opaque pink polish I think I have ever used. Neons tend to be either really opaque and chalky or really sheer and gummy on the nails, but this one literally gave me full coat neon coverage without any base color or anything like that. I was so impressed. I noticed in the bottle there's a little bit of like a blue pearly finish to it, but I didn't see it on the nails at all. And again, this one did dry down to that slightly matte finish, but of course you can just put top coat over it. Next up, we have the shade Adorably Clueless, and this one is a soft pale pastel pink. This one's a little bit more saturated than your usual pale pink, so I really did enjoy that. This is another one I was pretty much expecting to be a 3-coater because it is such a soft shade, but I think because it's a little bit more saturated, it gives the polish a little bit more color, which makes it more opaque. So it did give me full coverage in 2 coats, but again, shades like these on longer nails tend to be 3 coats, so just something to keep in mind. Next, we have the shade Highly Selective, and this one is something you can wear as either a topper or over the naked nail. So I ended up trying out both. If I want to make it full coverage, it did take 3 coats on me, but you can also just do 1 coat for a light wash of color on your nails, or even 2 coats if you want it to be a light wash of color with a little bit of pink in it. But yeah, it's a really pretty shade. It kind of has a little bit of a frostiness to it, and it's very soft pink with a little bit of like an iridescent sheen to it, and it definitely has a lot of that silvery frosty color going on. It's not streaky at all, but it does actually kind of look a little bit like it's sponged on. So an interesting shade, nothing particularly new. I feel like this is something that a lot of mainstream brands do, especially in the springtime. So I was a little surprised to see it as a summer color, but I was curious to see how it looked over other colors. I do think that this works really well as a topper. Historically, I have had very good experiences with Morgan Taylor toppers, so I enjoyed this one as a topper. I thought it added a little bit more fun to the pink polishes, and it just gives a little bit of sparkle. It melts nicely into the polish, so it almost looks like that's the finish of the polish, and I really enjoyed that. Next up, we have 2 Snaps for You, and this one is a metallic shard topper. So really interested to see this one in the collection. Was definitely not expecting this from a mainstream brand, but we've got some gold, champagne, maybe even some rose gold, and then matte black glitters, and they're all really irregular shapes. So you can apply it normally, which is what I did, but then there are some sparse areas, so I ended up just kind of popping in with some more glitter just to fill in that space. But I think this is a really fun topper. I think it would be fun to experiment using some glitter placement with this one. I did try it out over another color as a true topper, and I realized that some of the glitters in there are actually iridescent, which I did not realize, but I guess that makes sense because some of them look like they are shining pretty rainbowy in the bottle, but it really depends on what you wear them over. And last and possibly least, I haven't quite decided yet, is this shade Oops, My Bad. And this one is honestly one of my favorite lines of the movie, but I'm not sure how I feel about it as a polish. It is a really beautiful in the bottle holographic glitter topper. It looks like it's kind of a mix of silver bar glitters and also some irregular shards, but when I applied it on the nail, I realized it was very sparse. There's definitely a lot of base to glitter ratio, and it's pretty hard to apply just normally. I thought it was a really pretty color combo with the purple, but it just did not have very nice placement at all, so it kind of ended up not looking so great. But I do think that holo toppers are fun, especially when there's those irregular shapes in there, so I think I might try to use this one with glitter placement and see how I feel about it, because I do really enjoy glitter placement. So here are all of the polishes together, and what a beautiful rainbow of colors. I really love seeing these all together. I think that Morgan Taylor really excels with that cream finish. It's something they do very well. It's something that they make incredibly opaque and easy for beginners, so I really appreciated that. I think that the glitters could be hit or miss. Some people probably won't like them. I'm still a little bit iffy on a couple of them, but overall I was really impressed with the collection. It feels very summery, very fun, and I really enjoyed the names. So those are the polishes, and I really enjoyed this collection. I love the inspiration. I love these super bright summery colors, and I found myself cracking up at a lot of the names here. I think Morgan Taylor just continues to be a very underrated, high quality brand. Honestly, I forget about them all the time, but then whenever I try their polishes, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. They remind me a lot of OPI in terms of quality. They have a similar formula. They have a similar wide flat brush, but the Morgan Taylor one actually has a rounded tip, which I think makes application even easier. And overall, they just feel very similar in terms of like how thick the polish is, but they're really inexpensive. They have a very good quality for a lower price point. So I get my Morgan Taylor from HE Beauty Bar, which is an online nail polish retailer, and they're the 15 milliliter bottles retail for $8 USD, but I have a discount code. You can use the code KELLI to get 22% off your order there. And that is also where I get my base and top coats, so I'll link those down below as well. And fun fact, they actually also sell the Zoya Remove Plus, which is my absolute favorite remover, so I'll link that down below as well in case anybody's interested. But yeah, that is it for my thoughts on the collection, but I want to hear from you guys. What do you think of these polishes? Which color is your favorite? Do you think they did the movie justice, or do you think that there should have been different names or colors? Definitely let me know in the comments. We can chat about it. And also, if you haven't seen Clueless, you definitely need to watch it. It's a very funny film. If you enjoy my swatch and review videos, please give this one a thumbs up. It lets me know I'm doing a good job. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. I put out new videos every Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday. I also have a vlog channel where I'm posting more frequent life updates, stuff behind the scenes, so definitely check that out if you're interested. And I do have a podcast. It's not nail polish related. It's actually about films and very popular franchises, and I've been having so much fun with it. It's available on all podcasting platforms, and it's called It's All Geek to Me, so definitely check that out. And of course, a huge shout out to my Cosmic Admirals on Patreon, Amanda M, Rocketman's daughter, and Paola. I really appreciate your support, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye. Today's fun fact question comes from Patreon supporter Priscilla, and Priscilla wants to know, which is your least favorite Pokemon type? If forced to pick a team of 3 from it, who would you pick? Dual types are allowed because I'm reasonable. You guys know that I love a Pokemon related fun fact question, so let me think about this. I know offhand my bottom 2 types, my 2 least favorites, are fighting type and fairy type. I think fairy type just because I wasn't used to it and it wasn't introduced until a later generation, and it still is so hard for me to like remember what is strong against it and what is weak against it. So that's that. Fighting types, I just find that they have some strong moves, but I don't love the lack of accuracy, and I don't love physical attackers. For third least favorite, I think I can't decide between psychic type and steel type. Actually, maybe ice type, because I never really use an ice type Pokemon. Let me look up Pokemon of those types and then I can tell you what team I would pick. I don't even know what Pokemon are fairy type. So in my team of 3, I would pick Flabebe because it's just a really cute little creature that sits on a flower, and if I were a Pokemon, I would want to be a Flabebe, and it turns out it is actually a pure fairy type. Fighting types, who would I choose? Maybe I would actually double up on least favorite types and choose something like a Medicham. Oh wait, I actually really liked Urshifu from the new Sword and Shield games. I liked the single strike style because he was also dark type, and dark type happens to be one of my favorites. I really don't like any ice type Pokemon. I guess I'll pick a Lapras because I think of Lapras really as a water type, not so much as an ice type. So yeah, let's say that. Flabebe, Urshifu, and Lapras, which honestly, I would not love to have that team. If anybody else has a least favorite Pokemon type, please let me know in the comments. You know I love to have Pokemon discussions, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!